All right, D-Mac, let's get into it, man. You were here for some of it. You weren't here for a lot of it. The war rages on. I saw you jump into some tweets I was sending out there on social media and stuff like that. Battle lines have been drawn for some, and I don't understand it. And look, D-Mac, we're going to do this now. I'll let you get it. You decide. You told me in the pre-show meeting. You got one more blow-up left in you, then you're done.
I got one blow-up in me, but it's the more that I start thinking about it, and it's like, I guess the prerequisite is that if you listen to Steve Yzerman talk, right, and you're allowed to have your questions. It's not what it's about or wonder what direction he's going, but when the man simply comes out and tells you what his game plan is or why he's done things, I do not understand, especially from where this organization has been for the last 10, 12, I'm going to go 14 years since I've not been in the lineup, right? What are we talking about? Right? What are we talking about? The bottom line, right, is, and this is me, and I'm only going to, you can follow me, Darren McCarty 4 on Twitter, or anywhere, every day, come here and I'll give you sort of my opinion. But it's exactly where we're at. Like, you're driving to New Jersey with the family. You're driving, right?
Correct.
You decide where you stop, don't you? Like,
correct.
Where you're going to get gas.
Well, coffee decides where I'm going to stop. But yes, I decide.
But not anybody else in the car.
No.
Right? Maybe your wife.
Yes.
Right? Maybe your wife is, but whatever. But you hear in the back, hey, how long are we going to be there? Whatever. Not now. You're further down the road. Can we just please understand that if you look at Steve Yzerman as the parent, and the respect that I have is, man, he tells me more now with what's going on with this version of the Red Wings team than he ever did when I played with them. Or what he thought,
which is crazy.
Crazy
to think
the
about,
transparency that he comes with, right? And here's where I want to start. We could talk about all the guys that he added, the whatever this and that. The team is better today than it was at the end of the season, right? This team that he's going to put on, yes, and he addressed, and it bothers me because he addressed all of, what about scoring? What about this? What about that? Guys, he came out and said, I'm still kicking the tires on trades, on free agents to add to help the scoring. The big thing that he did say is that I think if we take care of our game defensively, it'll help our game offensively, right? Bing. What do we always say? What does he always say? It starts in net. When Derek Lalonde came and was hired as a coach, where does it start? It starts in goal on the way out, the defensive game, right? What he just did and what he just added, right, were guys that are solid in that aspect of the game, that give versatility. That's a big word that came with JT Compher. I'm not even going to start there because the players that he added a guy in Gostisbehere who, when Stevie says, hey, 50% of the time he played 5-on-5 on the right side, versatility, and plus one of the best defensemen on the power play, if you look up his power play stats through his career. So you've added that there. Why? Because what was one of the concerns? Power play scoring, right? So you've added different guys where you can explain this. But Neil, the biggest thing where I go to you when we're talking, because it's his war chest, it's his draft capital, it's his salary cap and whatever. When Steve Yzerman comes out and says, I like the short-term contracts because you know what? We've looked. And we're looking at the cap in the next 2 years, and we've done our estimations, and it's going to go up. So I don't want to be caught on one of these contracts, a la pretty much coming out and saying, I'm not giving a Stephen Weiss or a Franz Nielsen or even that of Johan Franz a contract to somebody who doesn't deserve it. I'm going to go short term. And another thing, Neil, the biggest thing that came out is what he refers back to is that how Vegas did it this year, which don't even get me started on people that say, look at Vegas expansion. Different freaking rules, people. They were given an opportunity to succeed from day one. But the biggest thing, right, for Steve Yzerman is the self-awareness, right, that you need the production from inside. So what he's done is he's telling you right now is the guys that I've drafted or the guys that you've seen in this lineup, the younger guys, I expect them, a la what Vegas did from the inside, is to be part of the scoring, improvement, be part of the defensive, and we're going to do it from within. Because you know what? There's nobody on the outside right now for what I want to pay that's going to help this team. What did we always say before this? It's not this year, free agency, it's next year. Has he not prepared himself not only to solidify this team to be an even better every day, every game team, hard to play against, but also a guy that hasn't cut his own throat to making a move that he wants for whoever he wants next year?
And D-Mac, what you talked about philosophically, that's where the power play is front of mind with him. When I get on here and I'm like, I want goals.
Is front of mind with him. Keeping the puck out of our net first will help. Why is that? Because what is Scotty Bowman is still in the early 90s teams, and Steve Yzerman was a big part of what Steve Yzerman had to become. From that third best player offensively in the league to the best all-around player in the league. Take care of your O&N first. And if it comes from the top, and that's what they're preaching.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Steve and David, what up, though, everybody? Good morning from San Diego. Appreciate it's early for you, man. Appreciate you tapping into that. Real quick, this one, too. Tammy Chin. How about those Penguins? Picked up Hellberg and Ned. I wish them all the best. And, Tammy, that's a great segue to this. What happened in Pittsburgh? Ron Hextall got involved, right? Right? And ran the place into the ground. And now they're going to deal with the fallout. Much like you're dealing with the fallout as a Red Wing fan right now. Watch. The Pittsburgh thing is over. OVA. You're going to see that play out that way. That's the price you pay for GM ineptitude. There's no escape. Again, I spent the whole weekend talking to people about this. This was all anybody wanted to talk about was the whole eyes. And I had people that opened my eyes to it. List of Ken Holland's drafts coming up towards the end. Other than Larkin, the last 5 drafts he had, 0. You got 0. Parlay that with all the bad contracts.
0.0.
Here we are, guys. And 4 years on the job, 5 years on the job, but it's not 5 years on the job. Because as I said last week, when you walk in the door and you have, I don't know, Jimmy Howard, Franz Nielsen, and Justin Abdelkader at $13.5 million of a $65 million cap, that is not a year on the job.
Isn't it technically?
It's a prison sentence.
Isn't it technically his second year on the job? Wasn't last year the first that he could actually go out and add, where he added, he added Kopp, he added Perron, he added Sherratt. He's adding locker room guys. That's what JT Comfort, right? When Steve Yzerman and he says that he's the right shot being the plus, but he's a good skater, good athlete, healthy, versatile, and what he adds immediately is that locker room presence coming from knowing how to get it done with Colorado. He's a meat and potatoes guy. What Stevie's doing is Neil. The guy that 1C or the goal scorer, like we're talking about, the Brinket or whatever, is not attainable to what Stevie wants right now. So what he's doing is second, third, fourth line, defensive third, fourth pairing down. He's solidifying that. And he's still, the Alex Lyon pickup, like I always say, I was interested when Stevie takes shots on goalies or goes out and gets goalies, because he's the hardest critic on goalies. So there's something there.
You know what it tells me too, and this is just all my own inference, and you'll probably appreciate this, D-Mac, because this kind of comes from you a little bit. The Ned thing, short term, free agency this year with the clock is ticking on Kosa getting here. And I think that's the play. That next year, when next year's season starts, you'll be looking at it, and Kosa will be here, and that's going to be the move. I think that's his.
But that
this
was
is a bridge.
That was always his play.
That was always going to be the play.
That was always his play. And in the perfect world, you see Sebastian Kosa at Christmas. Because he's tearing up the AHL and he's playing too well.
Hand.
He is. I said it all along. He's your Vasilevsky. When Stevie dropped Vasilevsky in Tampa Bay, that's where it starts. So if that's it, God bless, because then that means next year, like this year, it's still playoffs. moving any clocks or anything like that. It's the accountability, so it's about time for guys to get it done on the inside.
Real quick, a little bit of breaking news, I guess, in title only. It was officially announced just moments ago. Chris Draper has been named Detroit's assistant general manager.
Which is awesome for him. I sent him a shout out, and he's proud at the rink. I said, so get back to work. He says, I'm at the rink as you speak. I said, obviously you are, because you freaking live there. But these are the guys that they live this, they love this, and no better person to be second in charge to Steve Yzerman. So for lack of a better team, he picks up where Pat Verbeek was at before he went to be the GM of Anaheim.
None.
So and all likelihood, I hope we get it done here before, but Chris Draper will be a GM of an NHL team at some point. It's just a done deal.
Next year, by the way, Detroit Red Wings have 3 of the top 46 picks in the NHL draft.
Way to give away everything else, right? And here's the thing, right, Brandon, is that Steve Yzerman hasn't signed hasn't signed a top free agent. You know why? Because that guy, there hasn't been one out there that has met his approval.
And they have $37 million in cap space next year.
Saving it. How about this? When I say Steve Yzerman's going to give you everything you want, not when you want it, when he wants to give it to you. Next year, all you clowns that are sitting here, question, you should do this, and why did you go do this? When he does it and he puts his money down on that guy, it's going to blow your mind on who it is.